How are
God.
we doing?
How we doing? Oh my God. It's the start of another episode of Mitch's Minute. You know, one of these days I'm going to have like an actual like intro and shit that you can play and put into the microphone. Oh, man, I have a soundboard. I should have set that up.
I know. Fuck, dude.
Man, I
You
didn't.
literally like got the solution right now.
Oh, damn. You know, I didn't think of it until like just now. But hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Mitch's Mega Minute. I'm your host, Mitch. It has been forever since we've done an episode of the Mega Minute. I'm really excited to come on and to talk. It feels like I haven't streamed in like a week or two. About I had
just about,
yeah, just about, yeah.
Who's counting?
You know, I got a level as we're gonna move in beyond our intros. I got a level. Like, there's a part of me that's like, man, we should just do the minutes back on like YouTube. I mean, it's easier to archive that shit. And now that, because I'm like, oh, let's do an intro. I'm like, well, Twitch will, you know, fucking DMCA us, you know.
Oh, I know.
Because that's something we got to talk about in channel news. But real quick, Amanda, how you doing? How's it been? The fans just saw you on Friday.
Yeah, I was like, on Friday.
Yeah.
I am like so fucking tired sometimes. I just fucking time travel, if I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Fucking. My God. Because not only am I like working, but I'm also doing like commissions on the side. So I'm just like, the entire time.
I thought you were gonna start singing "Happy Birthday." That's how.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, I thought you were "Happy Birthday."
Happy birthday.
God.
To me.
Dude.
But no, like I've been good. Fucking, I'm gonna get a kitten soon.
Oh, damn. That sounds
Yeah.
fucking fun.
Yeah, so I'm pretty fucking hyped for the new little baby.
Oh, dude. I think the I can't swear by this, but I think the last time we did a Mitch's Minute, I didn't have a cat. I think.
Oh my God, I think so.
I think, yeah. So I got a cat. I should have. Oh, I didn't. Well, I didn't think about it until just now. But her name is Chihiro. She's super duper cute. And
I've only ever heard you call her Chihiro once.
Yeah, that's her actual name. I call her The Bean.
The Bean.
Yes, her name is The Bean. I don't know why. I think it's because
well, it's like an evolution of the name. Because you went from Chihiro to Chi-Chi to Baby Bean to Bean,
yeah,
to The Bean.
We've got a really fun show planned today. I don't get to do Mitch's Minutes as often as I used to. I used to do them like every week. So it's
I know.
So it's kind of fun to just be like, hey guys, let's not stream a game, which is the thing you like to watch us do. Let's just fucking rant and rave and go fucking crazy for a little bit. So let's go ahead and get into channel news real quick. Thank you.
Insane Oddball says, Mitch, when you get a dog, you should name it Goku.
I should.
To go with Chi-Chi.
Oh, that would have been really funny, honestly. All right.
Well, yeah, it would have been really funny because usually the cats tend to be like more aggressive towards the dogs right at the beginning, so that they can assert dominance. So dogs are usually super afraid of cats.
Well, her name is Chihiro because of the character from Howl's Moving Castle, and that was Tabby's call. And I think you're right. I think I've only ever called her by like her real ass name like once or twice. Everything else is just The Bean.
Oh yeah, it was like once or twice, and it was like the first full day that you actually had her, and you're like, all right, it's Chihiro. Chihiro, come here. Chi-Chi. Like immediately.
You know, it's that line from Solo where it's like, what's your name? Chewbacca. God, I there's so much to talk about. There's so much shit to talk about today. This one might go a little long, because we have like essentially like 2 months to catch up on. So channel news. So as you guys probably have been figuring, we've been a little on the slower side on the channel right now. We're entering into channel hibernation, where Save Point City's YouTube channel goes into a cave and eats fish for a while.
He eats fish.
Yeah, eats fish and berries.
Just a lot of poke bowls in our case, and we just take a nap.
During the holidays, we have a tendency to slow down a bit, and especially with everything going on with the horrid crisis that has been plaguing us for a little bit now. We've been slow this year. I'm not gonna lie. You know, we've been on the slower side. We haven't been playing as many games. And when we have been playing games, it's kind of hard, doing performances and stuff like that, or just, having fun with friends and, feeling like it's the right thing to do for the show, like when we did the Among Us streams, like that was like pretty fucking fun,
Oh, yeah.
But like, and Monster Prom's been great. I still need to upload those episodes. Shit.
Oh,
Dude, what happens is I was talking to, I think it was Amir, and I was like, yeah, should like, I'm just gonna upload the whole thing, and Amir was like, oh, well, maybe you should cut it up, and I was like, you're right. And you know what the problem with cutting it up is? I forget what's going up when, because of our schedule. So then I just have an upload. It's 2 more episodes to go. And then that'll be the end of that. But yeah, in terms of channel news, we so actually it's kind of funny. There was a plan to get a PS5 at some point, but then that fell apart so fucking fast.
But I feel like that's fucking reasonable with everything that's going on with that PS5. If I'm gonna be honest, dude, like, I've seen photos and images and people talking about it, and I know that GameStop said they were gonna have, like, 2 per a store. It wasn't 2 a store.
Yeah.
It was 1 a store.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how much you guys have been hearing about it. Let's talk about channel news first, and then discuss the horrid situation.
Go into like every other topic first.
No, there's just so much to talk about. Yeah, so we couldn't get a PS5, and I have no intention of picking up a PS5 for a while. So, there might be a period in time here on Save Point where like it's like, oh, there's a new game. It's like, oh, well, we know that they're not gonna play it because of the shortage. Meanwhile, someone probably, like, I think I was asked the other day, it's like, well, Mitchell, why don't you just get an Xbox Series X? And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that.
And play what? Call of Duty 5000?
Oh my god. It's, I don't know, I don't like the whole brand loyalty aspect of things, but I've always, I don't know, out of habit, I've always just played Sony. I owned a PS2 growing up. And, I had a PS3, then PS4, and eventually I'll get a PS5.
My main thing is just, like, what game is coming out on fucking the new Xbox that I want?
Yeah, I mean, for fuck's sake, I mean, for Sony, I mean, it's probably not exclusive, but Sony sounds like they're gonna get Final Fantasy 16, and that's where I'm gonna go, Out of pure habit. Oh god. Today, I totally off topic. Today is the 4th anniversary of Final Fantasy 15.
Oh.
I was just thinking about that game the other day because I have I've been really into my Switch lately, and I've been playing a lot of just Switch games, like Age of Calamity, Star Renegades just came on the Switch, so I've been playing a lot of that. Unfortunately, it's kind of buggy. They need to fix some stuff with some patches, because I can't get past a certain part without the game crashing. So, great game, awesome game. They just need to fix some of that stuff. It's obviously it's from the PC port, or it's ported from the PC. Outside of that, I've been playing like a shit ton of like Nintendo games lately. And I was talking to Tabby because we did a couple episodes where we were playing the Pocket Edition of Final Fantasy 15. And so Noctis
Yeah.
and those boys, I can't believe they're 4 years old. I can't believe that. Anyone who's watched the show for long enough know I have like weird mixed feelings about 15, especially because of its history and all that stuff. But I do appreciate like that game for what it is, you know. It's weird to think that Final Fantasy 13 came out on the PS3. 14 had a release on the 3 and PC, right?
Right.
And then the PS4 only had 15. So for 2 generations, there's only been essentially one main game, Final Fantasy. It took them
one
like
to rule them all.
Yeah, well, one. There can only be one per console. But yeah,
did I just seriously mix the Highlander and fucking like Lord of the Rings in my head?
It's okay.
I think that's exactly what I did. I was like, ooh, that would be so smart and funny, and then I fucked it up.
Dude, I could. I can't. I know it sounds like there's like I'm talking like a mile a minute, but I am genuinely excited to be here for Mitch's Minute today. It's been really good. I have a really funny story to tell you guys real quick.
Okay.
Yeah. Shit, we didn't finish the channel new. Okay, we're thinking about moving back to YouTube. That's what I wanted to say. We're thinking about just having the streams back on YouTube. That way it's all in-house. If Twitch is going to be just as badgery, if not worse, than YouTube, why are we here? You know, like that's kind of the thought process. We moved at the exact wrong time. So that's the sum of it. I would absolutely love it if you guys gave us some feedback over the next couple of weeks as we're trying to talk and figure out. I would love, you know, where do you guys want to consume our content? Because that would, you know, like if you tell us what's up, how you feel about it, you know, yeah, we listen to that kind of stuff, you know, your input matters, you know, and obviously there are times where, you know, sometimes it feels like it falls on deaf ears, but we are listening. We do read comments. We do all that stuff. We're not like super uber big and we don't, you know, where we don't read comments and shit like that. Like your input does matter. So please let us know what you think in the comments below. I did want to share a really funny story before we get into the main topics today. So today, Tabby and I were putting up a bunch of our stuff. We have tons of posters, like movie posters, game posters, and Tabby has been really great, and she's been getting these frames for it, right? And we had a flag come in for anyone who follows me on Twitter or knows the Discord. You've probably already seen it, but it's way too big, so we couldn't get it framed, right? But the flag in question is it's a little problematic. It's tiny.
It's a little suspicious.
Tiny bit. If you don't know what it is, it looks real bad, right? So we have this thing hanging in the bedroom, like right above the television. And there's the image there for all of you at home. And to explain, if you are a fan of Gundam Unicorn, that's the flag of Neo Zeon, specifically the sleeves unit of Neo Zeon, right? So if you know Gundam, like it's the evolution, like the emblem in the center is that of when Char took over Neo Zeon. Or no, it's not even when he took over, it's just Neo Zeon in particular. I think back when Hamon had led them, that was the flag. But obviously the black cross and the red and the circle and all that stuff, it looks pretty Nazi. pretty looks pretty fucking Nazi suspicious. It looks pretty fucking bad. And I've had friends like razz on me for like, because I sent it to like Jake and some other people, and my friends have been fucking like razzing me like hard about it. Because they're like, you should have put it in your window. I'm like, that's a horrible idea.
You're like, why would I do
That's
that?
right, I could be the first Samoan Nazi.
Christ.
The worst I think the worst part about it is I tried to find, I don't know why, but like my eye was drawn to this one, right? I think there might have been like another, like the so in Char's counterattack, it's just red and yellow, right? There's no cross, there's no circle, it's just red, yellow, and I think it might say like UC79 or something like that, like the founding date of Xeon. Or 0079. And so like so it's really fun because we're posting all these like posters and stuff and like these frames and stuff, and now I have to like sit there and like it's great, it's really funny, but also like I can totally 100% see like where the problem lies. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh well, it's from Gundam, there can't be a problem. No, there's, yeah, I see it, I super see it. I regret a little bit, tiny bit of regret. So
I mean, is there a way to fix it so it's more clear that that's not what that is?
there not if you're getting the unicorn's flag. The unicorn flag looks like that. If you want Char's counterattack specific, that's the red with the yellow. And I couldn't find that. That's the one I found on Amazon. So
of course you found it on Amazon.
Yeah, I found that was the one I found on Amazon. I couldn't I didn't find another one. So it was like the first one I saw, and I'm like, oh, this looks cool. And I clicked it and I bought it. So that's where my life is.
Oh, Xeon, and then
yeah,
that was it.
Xeon.
That was the whole thought.
God, I'll never forget like the time I ran into. There's this guy who, like, this was years ago, but there was this guy at a convention dressed up as Rumble Rowell, and he's walking down. I'm like, oh my god, it's Rumble Rowell! And like at the time, none of my friends like had any idea what Gundam was. So I was like, oh, Sig Xeon. He's like, Sig Xeon. And it looked bad. It looked really, really fucking bad because like it's not great. It's very clear that in the 70s when Tomino made Gundam, that like especially because of Giran Zabi, but it's very obvious like what the influence is in terms of their aesthetic. But over time, their overall message and their kind of like fight is a little different. So obviously there's the famous line that Giran's dad is like, you know, back in the Dark Ages there was a man named Adolf Hitler. And Giran's like, oh, then I shall be the next Adolf. And it's like, oh fuck, Giran, dude. But like not all of Xeon's like that. And then obviously they separated, Neo Xeon separated from the Zabi ideology and formed and was like under Char, who was technically the true Xeon leader.
You want to know what's the worst part? Is that their aesthetic looks like that. Like, that's their whole aesthetic. But they're essentially just green earthers.
Well, okay, so Gronzon says, no, Xeon is pretty much all like that. That's not true. Because, okay, look. The way that I see Xeon, right, is I can't believe I have to do this right now. But it's
the one who brought up the flag, my guy.
I know. But here's the deal. In the beginning, when you see 0079, right, when the war technically starts, there are two sides, and while yes, one is a certain aesthetic, it's kind of a weird situation, right? The Earth Federation was like, Earth was overpopulated, it's dying. We didn't solve fucking we didn't solve Earth's pollution problems, right? In fact, it got like 1,000 times worse. It's fucking hot. There's horrid living situations, and people want to escape. So they go into these colonies into space. Earth sends like 4 million people, 6 million, or not 4 million, but 6 billion. I'm getting the number wrong. It's between 4 and 6 billion. They send a couple billion people out there, and they slave away, working as hard as they can, and then send the resources back to Earth. It's a pretty raw fucking deal. It's not great.
It's like, hey, do you want to live where you can't breathe and fucking is literally dying all the time?
So,
or do you want to live somewhere that's half decent? The only catch is that you're like imprisoned into the system.
the ideology behind Xeon is the idea that it separates themselves to have their own sovereignty, while Earth has their own sovereignty. Because at the end of the day, what is the space and void, conflict? It's not that they just want to, obviously they do invade Earth at some point because, war. But it's so hard for me to like the Earth Federation. It's so hard. Like, don't get me wrong, there's some really good guys. Like, Bright Noah, that's my dude. Bright Noah's pretty fucking cool. That guy is a captain. That guy's awesome. Bright Noah's awesome. Fucking, everything in, like, what is it? The Earth Gundam shit. I can't think of it right now. But all it's, you know what I'm talking about, though? It's, shit. Anyways,
it's like the white something.
Yeah. But point is
not like
is
the
that
white horse, is it?
It's the whole point is that there's a lot of tensions and problems, and yes, they did drop the colony, and it was horrendous, and not everyone agreed on that. I don't want to spend all my minutes talking about Xeon.
The stream is called like the Highlander stream, and then we just spend the rest of the stream like defending Xeon.
It's not perfect, but war isn't perfect. Like that's sort of the trick. That's the idea. Because if you want to talk about some fucking war crimes, talk about fucking the Titans and how the Earth Federation then treated everything in Unicorn 2. Now they cover. You
said the Titans, and I was like, please don't bring Attack on Titan into this right now. We're already crossing here so hard.
Yeah, because you want to fucking start talking about some shady shit. We can start talking about the fucking Institute where they were trying to make cyber new types. And, we could talk about the Titans and their fucking deal and how they're abusive, the power there were. Or how all of this was fucking the Earth Federation's fault to begin with. But we can't talk about that. That's a thing that we can't talk about for obvious reasons for that. Well, I don't know. It's like 10 years old now. Unicorn's more than 10 years old. I'm not sure if that's a thing. Anyways, point is, I got a flag. It kind of looks like a Nazi flag. I kind of regret it a little bit, but it's cool. So,
But it's Gundam, and it's kind of funny.
Yeah, if you know what you know, and if you don't, well, Anyway.
If you know it, you know, and if you don't, you know.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, abso-fucking-lutely. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt your current Mitch's Minute with a special Mitch's Minute bulletin from the future.
Yeah. So it's been an hour after we recorded this.
Yeah, we've been like sitting here goofing and shooting the shit.
Looking at cat videos, the works.
Yeah, watching YouTubers who clearly should have had it like hit it bigger. And I know that this totally just broke like the flow of our Mitch's Minute. And but this should, if I edit this right, this should be right after I went on my spiel about like Xeon and stuff. And I wanted to just say real quick that as a normal rule of the show, when I am wrong, I will fucking admit when I am wrong. And I was like, I have like my asshole blown out right now. It is so fucking it is so fucking funny.
So like it essentially what happened is some information has been brought to our attention.
Like, okay, so here's the deal. I think okay, mind you, it has been an hour and we did like a 2-hour stream, so I'm not entirely sure how the flow of this went, but I'm pretty sure it went like this. Gronzin said something about like about Xeon and how like that's just the Xeon flag. I'm like, no, it's not, it's the Neo Xeon flag. Well, it turns out I was fucking wrong. It because
yeah, no, Gronzin was 100% fucking correct. That is the Xeon flag.
Right. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the difference between the flags. So the one on the left that I'm about to show is the one I have, and then the one on the right is what I wanted. And I just didn't, I guess I wasn't paying attention. So the one on the left is the Principality of Xeon flag. That is the flag from the old show Gundam, the original Gundam, right? That's the flag of space Nazis. That's the actual space Nazi flag.
Yeah.
That's the flag of Girin Zabi and the Zabi family. Fuck the Zabis. Yeah?
Yeah, mistakes were made.
Yeah, mistakes were made. The one on the right is the flag of Neo Zeon, which is the flag that was or like not, well, it's not even like a flag, it's an emblem that Char used in Char's counterattack. And I've been sitting here like laughing for like the last like fucking like 20 minutes. just pure, like, out of like pure embarrassment, because like I had the post on Twitter and I just fucking deleted it because I'm like, oh fuck, how do I explain this? So
Well, the fucking
this is
I mean,
how
obviously, let's start off. You and I are both POC. Let's start off with that fact.
fuck.
Let's start off with that fun fact.
Yeah, that we're both not white. Yeah, let's start with that. Yeah.
Let's start off with the second fact of after we found out, you fucking said the words, but on the Amazon listing it says and I went, okay, I would never lie.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, no, it's so fucking funny. I think the part that gets me the most is that like I checked to see like the total engagement on that like post before I took it down, and like at least like more than half of my fucking followers like looked at it and were like, yeah, this is on the level, and then just kept scrolling.
I just didn't say anything. My favorite part is that I think the way you fucking remembered, like, / figured it out was because you were looking at the photo again and you're like, oh, look, my cat's in the photo. Haha.
Yeah, Chi-Chi's in the photo. If you go back in the video and you look in the corner, Chi-Chi is sitting on the chair. Oh.
And we're like, ah, Chi-Chi. And then you're just like, wait, I think I messed up.
Oh, it's so fucking funny.
The worst part is that I'm just like, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Because
you really just followed along with whatever.
Yeah, because I was sat there and I was like, he knows so much about Gundam. He knows so much about Gundam. He knows way more than I do. He's probably right.
I'm so sorry. I know this.
I even said during the thing, it looks bad.
Oh,
without
God.
doubt, it looks bad.
Oh, it's so fucking funny. I'm so embarrassed like on my own behalf just because of like how adamant I was about it. But like I know it's stupid that I'm laughing about my own fucking mistake, but it genuinely like it's just really silly. Like I was willing to die on the absolute wrong anthill. Oh fuck.
God.
Oh. Anyways, enjoy the rest of the video, guys. We'll see you literally after this segment that we interjected in the video.
Yes.
Alright, let the video continue.
Yay.
Anyways, anywho, let's talk about one of the things that I've been listening to a shit ton on, which is The Prophecy by Ninja Sex Party. Their latest album dropped in the middle of November. I have been enjoying the fuck out of this one. This one is so good. The first song is like a 10-minute song, and it's good, but it goes places, man. I feel like they should have there's very clear splits in the song for like different sections. It's how do I word this? It feels like the song should be in like 4 parts and like different 2-minute segments, right? But they go like the full 10 minutes, or I think it's like closer to 12, something like that. And it's good. It's super good, but it's surprising if you don't know what you're getting yourself into. Rest of the album though is really good. Thunder and fucking Lightning, that's really great. Wondering, I think it's like Wondering Where You Are Tonight or something like that. That song is fucking beautiful. Half the song feels like it's written from a very sincere place, and then the other half is classic Ninja Sex Party. Welcome to My Parents' House is, to me, the best song on the album.
I'll have to listen to this, because while I do like their Under the Covers albums, I am glad just to see them making their own shit again.
Oh yeah. It's just such a solid like album. Like I'm really enjoying it for what it is. It's their work with Twerp is just really like nice. Like it's just really like it gets there, man. It gets there.
God damn it, Mirror.
What?
I don't know if you have the chat pulled up, but Mirror just clipped the if you know, if you know, and if you don't know, you know.
We never get clips. That's the one that's gonna like that's forever now. That's for me. If you guys have not checked out The Prophecy, it is so good. I really think Dan is famously said at one point that like he thinks he peaked with Dinosaur Laser Fight. And that,
no, I absolutely disagree.
I disagree too. The Prophecy brings it. It is fun. It is enjoyable. It is so good. I absolutely adore the album.
Can I say something controversial?
What's up?
I'm not the biggest fan of Dinosaur Laser Fight.
Well, it's their earlier work, and like that's the one where everyone like, because it was the one pre Game Grumps, right? Pre Game Grumps, but it's his first collab with Aaron. You know, that was his first real collab, and that's when everyone knew Ego Raptor. And then, you know, that the video goes up on, I think it was on Ego Raptor's channel, maybe it was on Ninja Sex Parties, but he shared it. And I remember that's the first time I ever saw these guys. So
oh yeah. Dinosaur Laser Fight is okay for me, you know? That's okay. It's not my favorite.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why he's like, oh, this is where I peaked.
Well, I mean, everyone sees their own work, you know. Everyone sees their own work, like, in their own eyes. You know what I mean? Like
it could just be like, oh, this is where I grew the most.
Yeah, maybe.
And I haven't been able to grow as, like, a brand sense.
It's definitely like I like I said, I don't agree with his thought on it, but I can understand where you're coming from, you know. That being said, if you guys haven't seen it, or if you guys haven't listened to it, go check it out. Also, tons of awesome music videos have been coming out from the album. My personal favorite, once again, is Welcome to My Parents' House. That hits a very personal chord for me. But anyways, let's talk about the next subject. So as I said before, we have been, I guess we, right? It seems like everyone's doing this too.
It depends. What's the subject? I have no idea.
Okay, we've been playing a lot of Switch. Everyone.
Oh yes.
Yeah, we've been playing Pokemon.
You're just like well, I don't know.
Okay.
It's like we've been doing a lot of this, and I was like, what have we been doing?
I've been playing a lot of the Switch, and as everyone knows, Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity just came out on Friday. That game it wasn't this last Friday, but it was previous Friday. And I've been playing the fuck out of that game. It is so good. It is so solid. It is everything I want in a Warriors game. I feel like this is the formula. This is like the perfected version of what a Warriors game should be like. Because earlier in the year, I was playing One Piece Pirate Warriors.
Yeah.
And also, I played a lot of the previous Hyrule Warriors when it came out. Back when it was on the Wii U. And this is the perfected formula. This is the one that makes sense. This is the one that I think, I mean, it already has, it is the highest selling Warriors game of all time. So, I mean, fuck. Like, it is really incredibly solid. I will play a little bit of it on the show. I don't want to do a full LP, obviously. That would take forever. But I'll do, like, I think because Gangmudo wanted to see it. She's on the fence on it. But I do want to play a little bit of it. It's really absolutely solid. But the thing I actually wanted to talk about with Hyrule Warriors isn't the game itself, but Tabby's play. See, Tabby.
I was about to say, if you weren't going to bring it up, I was going to be like, poor Tabby.
So, for those at home who don't know, Tabby's my partner, my fiance, and she has been looking forward to this game ever since it was announced. She is a super huge Breath of the Wild fan. She does puzzles of it and like does this gloss on the puzzles so that she can frame them. Anytime there's a piece of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild's merch, like, she'll buy it. She loves, adores Breath of the Wild. So there's a story to this. I actually I handed her for her birthday, I handed her like the money that would be needed for the pre-order, so that she can get like the spoon and like stupid pot lid shield and all that stuff. And some stuff happened with Chi-Chi, so we had to cover the like emergency stuff that happened with Chi-Chi. And then my dad was like, "Oh well, I'll get it for you." But then we didn't end up seeing my dad for Thanksgiving for obvious reasons. So he sent it into the mail, and she was supposed to get it yesterday.
Yeah.
And it has not shown up, and it is like it has been a whole. I know. I'm so sorry. I have to explain this because it is affecting my playthrough of Breath of the Wild.
You can't enjoy it because I'm just sadly in the background.
I feel so fucking bad anytime you come over.
Tabby sat there just watching you, lip quivering.
Well, no, because okay,
wide-eyed, no, it's okay.
So this is what's happened. The first day I played, it was on Friday. You were working, Tabby, and Chi-Chi was just in the corner, and I sat there on the couch for like 4 hours just playing the game. It was great. And then you came home, and I immediately switched it over to Hades.
Oh, that's what happened.
I immediately switched it over to Hades because you don't want to see any of the game. You don't want to see any of it. You don't want to get tempted by it or anything like that. And
it's not even the gameplay. Buy it. I can just get it.
Again, I could just buy it again.
This has been a roller coaster of just because now I can't play it. I feel horrible. Like, it doesn't matter if it's just in the bedroom or in the living room where you're not there. I'm like, oh, this feels like cheating. Like, it feels like I'm cheating on you with this game.
Like what I did, like hounding the.
No, I have. Do you want to come over here? Do you want to tell them about that real quick?
Sure. Oh no, Chi-Chi's waiting right behind me.
Oh.
Oh, we'll let her in.
Let in.
Look at how pink she is.
Okay, my cat does this thing where if we enter a room and she's not in it and we close the door behind, she will wait. She will just wait. And okay. All right. Anyways, continue.
Yesterday, we were told on Friday that it would get there tomorrow, so Saturday. And I was like, do you think they just said that to, like, appease me? They might have just said that to make me happy in the moment. But I was like, you know what? I'll be hopeful. So I was waiting for the mail all day. And at, like, 10 o'clock, I'm like, the mail's not here yet. The mail's not here yet. So I hounded the window for 2 hours. I was out in the living room waiting for the sound of the mailman. And when he finally showed up, I ran out to the mailbox. I came in, threw 2 pamphlets on the floor, and was like, I'm done. I'm good.
Oh, no. You didn't tell me that part.
It's really...
She literally got the mail, threw it down on the floor, and went, I'm done.
Dude, it's been a process. It has been a process. Also, the bean... I need to record stuff Wanna?
Wants to hang out.
I know. I'll tickle you later. It'll be fun. My cat likes to be tickled. Very fun.
She likes to.
That's fair. All right. All right. Goodbye, guys. I know. I know.
Makes me sad still. And you're like, yeah, I know. Yeah, Tabby, I know. I know I can't play the game.
Anyways, game has been really, really fun. But I do feel bad whenever I start playing. I'll inadvertently just feel pretty fucking horrible about it. So I haven't been playing it that much. But from what I have played and from the bits, Rivali is one of my favorite characters. Okay, here's the thing, right? I get why people don't like Rivali. Like, I super do. He's a dick. I get it. But it's not, how do I word this? He comes from like a really interesting position where he's just kind of the show-offy dick. But like, it's revealed in the game that like monsters are trying to attack his village like all the fucking time. And he just is kind of a hard ass because he has to be. Maybe I'm being a bit of an apologist here, but like I do feel like he's a dick, but he's a good guy, you know?
Yeah. He's a dick, but he means well.
People get really like upset with him because he makes fun of like Link and like shit talks Link all the time. But I mean, I don't know. I don't think Link deserves it at all. But also, I mean, I think that, I don't know. Maybe it's controversial opinion. I like Rivali. I think he's stupid, but in the same way, I mean, let me put it this way: if Rivali wasn't a bird and he just looked like Gilgamesh, I think people would be a little bit easier on him.
Yeah, like
they have almost
the thing, right?
Like Gilgamesh is like 2 tiers higher than Rivali in terms of tier of bitch, but like people adore Gilgamesh. I adore Gilgamesh. I think he's cool as fuck. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe I just like the condescending, kind of arrogant characters. I don't know why I do, but it's because I feel it here in my heart. No, it's
a connection.
Yeah, there's something there. No, but anyways, Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity. It is a very solid game. My favorite character to play is Urbosa. For obvious reasons. She is so cool. She is so fucking cool. Also, something that I want to emphasize that is really, really solid is I did not know a single thing going into this game. The thing that I really appreciate is when Link has 3 styles of fighting. He has the great sword, the spear, and the sword and shield. Each style is different. It's like playing a completely different character. With the sword and shield, Link can perform parries. And his moveset's pretty balanced. With the spear, there is a lot of range, a lot of cool stuff you can do. He jumps in the air. He feels like Lancer from Fate. Not to keep going back to Fate, but he feels like a Kukathulian. Or I fucked up his name, but you know what I'm talking about. Like Lance, like it feels amazing. And with the great sword, it's actually another aspect of Breath of the Wild where he's eating so he can do more powerful versions of the strong attacks, which will like have these like red glow after, like it's this really cool like edgy kind of fire. Of course, I also dyed Link to have like the black hood cape and the all black, and he just has this big stupid great sword. I don't know. I'm a fucking edgelord at heart, I guess.
That's okay, dude.
But like he can do like all these really cool moves, but then he eats like, so for every time you do like one of the improved moves, he consumes health to do it, and you can heal him of that temporary health, only the temporary health that you've consumed, by eating food, by pushing triangle. It's pretty fun. Well, not triangle, it's Y. Or is it X? It's X, I think.
Right.
No, it's Y. It's Y.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, point is, the game's really, really great. I could go on about all the cool Switch games that we've been playing lately. Ah, so cool. So good. Also, I agree with Mirror Archives. The Birdman has good intentions, but I should be allowed to punch him at least once. If
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I super agree with that. Absolutely. Rivali is super punchable. I think that's why I like him. Anyways, let's talk about
You like all of the characters that you're just like, I would like to punch you in the face.
Yeah,
you deserve at least one face punch for your atrocities.
You know what Rivali proves to me before we move on to the next topic?
What?
Rivali's like the type of, so he's a good guy, right? Rivali's a good guy. He's the pilot of one of the fucking divine beasts. He's one of the champions. He wants to protect his village. He's just very arrogant and cocky, and you can be a good character and be arrogant and cocky. And I think that, but like whenever you traditionally quote unquote see like that like arrogance or that showmanship or that kind of vibe, you see it within like a Reinhardt-esque character or a, you know, where it's all about glory and honor, you know, and this big showy kind of like, you know, like, oh yes, you know, like for, you know, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to beat a bunch of guys, it's going to be great, it's going to be glorious. Rivali is the exact same way. He's just a dick about it, you know. Maybe not to that Reinhardt level, but he is sort of that talking down kind of condescending. A lot of the times when he talks down to Link, a lot of it feels like it's this, you know, it's this rivalry between the two, right? Or I guess a one-sided rivalry. I don't think Link considers Rivali like his equal. But I guess Link is such a blank slate that and he's so, from what we can gather, he's so like chill and cool with everything that like even when Rivali like insults him, he's not like super insulted. He's just like, you're just a douche. But like I think it's interesting because that's the qualities of like a villain also, like a character that was a villain. You could easily put Rivali in a villain's like kind of like, oh yes, you're the bully character. Oh, you know, like you're that like that dick, you know.
Oh yeah, very easily.
Yeah, it's the only difference is Rivali's a good guy. Like he genuinely cares about his people, and wants to see them like be okay. So I don't know. That's interesting. I think that's a really interesting kind of vibe to do with your characters. Because I don't know. I feel like the characters in Breath of the Wild is very, very interesting, very well written. Speaking of well written. Let's talk a little bit about this movie that I've been obsessed with for like 3 weeks now. So Highlander exists. There is this, where do we start? 1989. Okay, so
where do we even begin?
So
with the Highlander.
So if you don't know anything about the Highlander, it is a film from the 80s. In my opinion, it is quintessential 80s. It's 1986. The film includes the music, an entire album of music, except for 3 songs, an entire album of music by Queen, who is one of the greatest bands, not only of the 80s, but of all time, you know. And the story follows an immortal named, I was almost going to say Duncan, Connor MacLeod, who is born in the Highlands of Scotland and dies his first death and then is reborn as an immortal. And the story of his life and his battle against another immortal named the Kurgan, to be, you know, because there can be only one. There can only be one immortal. That's pretty much like the base story. Like that's like the spine of it, I think.
Yeah.
I have been obsessed with this movie for like I've seen the film three or four times now in the last couple of weeks. A good way, if you've been with the channel long enough, you know that a couple years ago I was really obsessed with the movie The Room. I was just obsessed with it. There was so much wrong, but it feels like it comes from a place of passion. With the Highlander, I am obsessed with everything about it. There is so much that I don't. The movie's cool. The movie's just really cool. Let's just get it out there right now. There are epic battles between immortals, while a soundtrack that feels like almost perfect is just blasting. There are moments where Queen is blasting, and like you're getting into the vibe of everything. The late great Sean Connery plays Juan Ramirez, who is an Egyptian who has a Spanish name because he renamed himself at some point and married a Japanese princess back in the 1500s. No. He didn't marry not in the 1500s. That was like 200 BC. He married that Japanese princess.
Yeah, a Spanish man from Egypt that married a Japanese princess. Because they had to have an excuse of why the fuck there are katanas in this fucking movie. Because there is no other fucking reason.
So that's the thing. Everything about this film is so amazing. It is so crazy and bizarre. How do the immortals fight? They fight with swords. Why don't they use guns? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They fight
because it's harder to decapitate someone with a gun.
I actually have a list here that I want to kind of read off at some point. If someone tried to analyze why it would be that way, based off of rules from the show and the movies.
Because, oh my god.
Okay, so the most important aspect about this that I can't emphasize enough is this movie had a budget of $19 million.
Yeah.
$19 million. Sean Connery, who did a week of filming, only was paid about what, like $1 million? A million of that 19 million?
Yeah.
So they had a budget of 18 million, which includes beautiful locations, absolutely stunning locations. The camera work there's so much beautiful camera work, and the transitions are so planned, and as Josh pointed out, they had to have had that planned from the very beginning of how these transitions work, right? You can't just half-ass that, as we found out with the series, which we're going to talk about a little later.
Yeah.
There is genuine love and care and effort, and even Christopher Lambert, who, if you guys have looked at that image and you say, wow, that guy looks familiar, you might know him from the 1991 film Mortal Kombat. He was Lord Raiden, or Raiden? Lord Raiden? I think that's how they pronounce it in that one. But he was Raiden in that one. So everything about this film is so fascinating. Even the main actor, Christopher Lambert, needed to wear glasses, or else he just couldn't see. He was essentially blind, like Velma from Scooby-Doo.
From Scooby-Doo.
So there are moments where, in one of the scenes at the very beginning of the film, when he's in the Highlands, the 1500s, and he's fighting with his great sword and everything like that, or even just being on horseback, what they would have to do is they'd have to redo some shots, because the dude was still wearing his glasses. He just forgot he had them on. A lot of scenes that he acts in this movie, he's essentially blind. Which is amazing to think about when you remember that this is the main actor who has to do sword fights with with the Kurgan, who is played by Clancy Brown. Who,
if you don't know, is Mr. Krabs.
Yeah, who the voice actor for Mr. Krabs was the bad guy in Highlander.
So if you've ever wanted to see fucking Raiden and fucking Mr. Krabs duke it out, it's in Highlander for some reason.
It is incredible. Now, mind you, there are some problems with the film. The film,
without a doubt.
There's tons of problems with the film. Including, but not limited to, the fact that there are two different love kind of interests in the film. One in the past, one in the present. I say the present of 1986. And one...
Technically, there's 2.5 love interests.
Okay.
If you count the first Scottish girl.
Oh, that's true. That's right. I didn't think about that. There is just a lot to take in with this film. When he becomes an immortal, they believe that it was the work of the devil, and then they kick him out of the village. And you see all these people who Connor was very friendly with, not even 10 minutes before, like, just kick him out of the village. The woman he meets later on in the film, or like later on in that section of the film, they have a chemistry together. It's hard. I wouldn't even argue that they have a chemistry together. Like Christopher Lambert and that actress have a chemistry, because it's amazing how there is a lack of chemistry with the main love interest of the movie. And there are just these kind of these very general problems with the film. That if you grade it by today's standards, it's not super great, but there's something about the film that just like captures my imagination. There's something so oddly anime about it, with the concept of immortals fighting to the death, when the only way you can kill them is by beheading them, and if you behead them, you inherit their power, their skills, their abilities, through a process called the quickening, in which it has the aesthetic of lightning bursting out from one person and being absorbed into another. And there is just so much. Like, where do the immortals come from? You know what our answer is given? We don't know. We don't know where the immortals come from. They just exist.
Yeah,
I think Ramirez says something along the lines of like, well, like why do we exist? And he said, well, why does the sun set? Why does, well, it's a thing. It's just, you like, and I love that. I love that kind of that answer. It's kind of ruined because I guess in the sequel they do answer where they come from, and it's not very satisfactory, and to the point where that second film is considered non-canon entirely. But there is, I don't want to talk too much spoiler wise, but I will say this: Sean Connery and Clancy Brown just deliver amazing performances. It is strange how much you fall in love with the charm of Sean Connery, and Clancy Brown really plays this intimidating kind of crazy-esque this villain, very, very cheesy, but it's really, there's something about it that just really delivers on those performances.
Can I just say one thing that was totally ruined for the both of us with the Highlander?
Oh yeah.
Fucking Queen's music, like, not all of it obviously, but Queen was commissioned to write the fucking soundtrack for this fucking movie, and certain songs we found out were just written for this movie, and we were sat here thinking they had a deep philosophical meaning. the song Who Wants to Live Forever is for this fucking movie.
That hurts so much.
Because this soundtrack, this album, A Kind of Magic, came out in 86. 86 was the last year Queen could do a performance. And then after that, he was like stuck because of fucking medical complications. So his last tour ever was in 86, where he performed Who Wants to Live Forever. And so I thought it was about the fact that he was dying. And it's not at all. It's for the fucking Highlander movie. And the Princes of a Universe is for the Highlander movie. That entire album, A Kind of Magic, is for the fucking Highlander movie. Because Princes of the Universe was what the fucking movie was going to be called before they changed it last minute. Are you fucking with me?
There is everything about this movie is so fucking fascinating. The actor, like Clancy Brown, almost turned down the role because he was worried that he has a like allergic reaction to latex, and he was worried about the makeup. Fucking Sean Connery does the echoey opening crawl like in the like you think it's an effect or something, but nah, man, he recorded in the bathroom of his Spanish villa. Like there's just so much that's so weird about this film, and I love every little detail about it because it's so odd but so endearing.
It makes fucking sense. Can I tell you the fucking fact that still blows my mind is that Queen, at its peak, wrote the fucking album for this. At its peak, Queen was fucking huge at that point, right? Still is. They weren't the first choice. They weren't even in the top 5, because I digged a bit more. They were the 6th choice. 6th. Not even the first. Not even top 5. What the fuck? What the fuck?
I know. If you have not seen this movie, I'm very glad to tell you this movie is available on YouTube. I will be posting the link in our Discord, in the media it's gonna call it the media fuck pile. That's what it used to be called. But I'm gonna be posting the link for it. So if you guys want to watch the film, buy it on your own. It is a great quality. They did cut out 2 of the sex scenes in the film, so I'm not sure if you were looking forward to that, but they did. Give it a watch. Check it out for yourself. See what you think, because so it needs to be said. I think the reason why I'm so enamored with this film is because not only did this film critically fail, but it financially failed. It didn't do very well here in the States, but you know where it did do well?
We're fucking boomed.
Was Canada and Europe, and a little bit of Japan.
The Highlander anime.
Oh, god damn it. Okay, so there is a Highlander animated TV show. And an anime. And an actual anime done by the studio. I think it was let me look up. By the way, the anime was called, hang on. Yes, for those who don't know, it was called Gronzin says the media fuck pile. Yeah, that's what we used to call our stuff. It was called the media fuck pile back in those days. It's called Highlander Search for Vengeance. It was animated by which one was it? Which fucking high? It was Imagi Animation Studios and Madhouse Studio. It's a joint venture between those guys. Which one? Fuck, really?
Yeah. Studio Madhouse, which made the Hellsing anime.
Madhouse is known for a shit ton of stuff, including the first season of One Punch Man, Parasite, Death Note, Paprika. Fuck.
And they made the Highlander anime.
They made the Highlander anime movie, guys. They did it. The second thing I want to okay, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that the amount of fucking stuff made for this fucking movie, of all things, a movie that fucking bombed, made a little over half of its fucking budget back. It has a TV show that ran for what, 6 seasons?
Six full seasons, yeah.
6 full seasons, not to mention the spin-offs. We're not even going to touch those, because I don't know that much about them. An animated TV show that ran for 2 seasons, a fucking anime, a fucking soundtrack that was fucking made by Queen, several games, including one made by Jaguar. Good investment on you, Highlander. Once again, really fucking topping it off with going with Jaguar. A fucking, once again, failing game company. Fucking, and a card game.
Well,
a card game.
To be fair, the card game was more based off the show, which we will be talking about here in just a second. because we have watched a couple episodes of the show. I've actually watched like maybe a couple more than you. Is there anything you want to, anything last remaining comments on Highlander the film?
The film.
The film. The first one. The first one.
Other than I now know way too much about the production history behind it. That it's fucking so real, dude. I know too much about how the Highlander was made.
Yeah.
Too much.
Yeah.
Because you go into this fucking rabbit hole in which you never can really fucking escape from, because every other fucking sentence of this production is just like, why? Where? The fuck? Are you serious?
Yeah.
But why? The fucking the stupid shit. Stupid shit. Like, one of them you told me is the only reason that most of those fuckers made it through the film when they were in Scotland is because Sean Connery had whiskey on him.
Yes, it is illegal to drink while filming in Scotland. And they did it anyway.
Because it's so fucking cold. They were so cold and so wet and so miserable, and Sean Connery just went.
Sean Connery brought a shit ton of whiskey. Or, is it whiskey? I think so. He saved part of the... There's every story. Every new story is just amazing. And we can probably talk about this for so long, but I do want to get to the next thing. I will end my bit here on the movie and say, if you have not seen it, please give it a watch. If anything, it is worth just a fun shit talking moment. There are tons of fun moments in the film. Also, if you want to hear a French actor who was born in America, if you want to hear a French actor put on a Scottish accent, that is so good. Just so good. Anyways, let's talk about a British actor putting on a Scottish accent. Let's talk about...
And somehow he's worse. Somehow he's worse. Get that shit.
So, if you heard the story of Connor MacLeod and how he wants to become the last remaining the last remaining immortal to win the prize, and you watch that movie and you're like, wow, let's make a TV show out of it. Let's talk about, for a little bit that we do know, of Highlander the television series. So Highlander the television series was actually a production made entirely in Vancouver, Canada. While it pretends to be in America, I think that's the gimmick. And Duncan, who is Connor's cousin, his cousin from like 90 years in the future, like for 1500, so it would be like closer to 1600. But he was.
Keep in mind, this entire show is set in an AU.
Yes, that is super important to know. So this version of the show just takes place in an alternate universe in which Connor does not win the prize at the end of Highlander, and it ignores the continuity of all the movies except for the fact that Connor and Duncan are people. so Connor,
Duncan's not a person in the other one.
Yes,
and that's what makes this an AU.
That's right. Duncan, he starts every episode off, I'm Duncan MacLeod. I'm an immortal. Fought for 100 years in the Highlands of Scotland. Like it's so weird. It's so weird to hear. Like, by the way, all of this is available on YouTube. The whole show is available on YouTube for some fucking reason. We were able to find it in really nice. It's not even like shit tier like 10 years ago YouTube quality. It is like max DVD quality on that. It is so is the fucking Highlander movie.
The
Highlander movie's like in Blu-ray. Yeah, holy shit. It is so like it's so crazy to me. So we watched you watched the first 2 episodes. I think I watched 4. I think that's what I've done. This show, they spend the whole first episode explaining the fact that, so they don't talk about how Duncan got his katana, because also Duncan happens to be a Highlander who has a katana. So what originally the plan was to do a show based off of Connor's adventures, but Lambert didn't want to do a series. He just didn't want to do a TV show like that, and so they got Adrian, whose last name escapes me right now, but I think it's Adrian Paul, Adrian something. They got this guy who you can see right now to fill in, and he said, well, I don't want to play Connor because the fans won't want that. Which makes sense. I get that.
Yeah, it checks out.
Because it'll be like the adventures of young Indiana Jones or something like that. Like he looks nothing like Connor, or it wouldn't make sense. So they wrote in that he's Duncan MacLeod, who was born 90 years after Connor and also happens to be an immortal. And
it happens to be his cousin somehow.
Right. And so they they do this whole bit in the first episode where Christopher Lambert comes on as the guest star, so that, you know, the old fans of the films could be like, oh, well, at least he's here to kind of guide Duncan a little bit, you know, to show that it's a passing of the torch a little bit here and there. And the TV show is pure camp. It is just, it's 90s camp. It's so good. If you are in the mood for just like the silliness and just by the way, so awkward too. Like it's kind of hard to gauge who the show is made for, because
it gets so dark out of nowhere.
It gets really dark. There's like there's like sex scenes, like TV sex scenes, like in the first episode. Like it's all it's steamy shit, and this is coming from a guy who's been watching reruns of like Frasier lately just for funsies, like on my break. Like it's weird. It's very weird. And it's the tone of the TV show just goes from like 1 to 100, like out of nowhere. But I will say this. It is enjoyable. Everything like we're talking about as if it's bad, but it is genuinely enjoyable. I actually, at first I was like, oh Duncan, he's just, oh really? But now that I've watched a bit, I actually am enjoying what it is worth. I enjoy.
By the way,
what's up?
If any of you like the sword fighting, the choreographed sword fighting from fucking Highlander, don't expect that shit in the TV show. It's non-existent. It's non-existent. Connor MacLeod is like a well-trained sword fighter. He's trained in like multiple styles. He knows how to maneuver himself. He gets like pushed down. Just like one-handed push down at one point, and he's just wildly swinging his sword around. And
but
he gets back up, and then he wildly swings his sword around, and then he gets kicked off of a bridge. And that's that.
It's very obvious they don't have the same like choreographer from the movie.
I don't think they have a choreographer.
Well, okay.
Period.
So once again, this is based off of a few episodes and some general knowledge about the show.
It is the only episode that Connor is in. The Highlander. It's the only one he's in.
Yeah,
and he gets pushed.
It's the only time Lambert has been on American television, like in a TV show.
Just one-handed.
I know.
Push down.
I know. Well, they have to have Duncan have his moment. They have to prove that, like, oh yeah, like this will be the guy we're focusing on the story. And as awesome as it would be to just have a Lambert show, I think that Duncan does bring it. Like Adrian Paul does bring the show. And it is very entertaining. Like it's that 90s camp. There are a few moments that I don't necessarily like about it. The same thing like I could say about the Highlander. There's a weird moment in the movie where a cop is like says like a weird gay slur and is implying that like Connor went to like went to Madison Square Garden to get a blowjob, and I didn't like that. That didn't age well. That didn't age well for me. Like that felt weird. But like at the same time, like, you know, it's weird to say it's a product of its time, but like there is just this kind of like awkwardness that comes with it. Like these are products of the time. I don't like what's funny is the TV show has kind of like this weird like The Room feel sometimes, because they in the first episode, like this character Richie, who is clearly a dude in his 20s, like mid to late 20s.
Yeah, mid to late 20s, and they're like, he's all of 16.
He's 17. Remember?
17.
Yeah, he's on the edge of 17. And
yeah, we're gonna get kicked out of foster care. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, so then they get him out of trouble in like episode 2, and then I think he just lives with them. He lives with Tommy and Lisa for the I don't remember the name of his partner. Shit. But like some of the writing just feels a little bit like The Room, and like we even made the joke that Lambert's like weird accent and the way he laughs feels like Tommy Wiseau. Like it just
I swear to God, like half of me is convinced that that's where Tommy got his laugh. Tommy Wiseau just like watched the fucking Highlander and went, that's how I'm gonna laugh now. Because he just fucking the Highlander will randomly just do the Tommy Wiseau laugh, just
He even does it in Mortal Kombat.
Like, what is that?
He even did it in Mortal Kombat. That was the weirdest part, is that it almost feels like a nod. I can't tell if that's just how Lambert thinks people laugh, or like if that's like if it's some sort of weird like comedic nod. But the point is that we've fallen down a hole. let's
help us.
We have fallen down a hole. And I'm so I bought on eBay. I was drunk on Thursday. I was a little inebriated from some we bought some sangria for our dinner, and I had a little bit more than I should have, and I bought on eBay a starter deck for the trading card game and a DVD copy of Highlander: The Search for Vengeance, because there is no Blu-ray copy of Search for Vengeance. So that's my life right now.
That's what you've been up to.
Yeah, that's my minute. That's my Mitch's minute. I've been playing well, shit. It feels kind of weird, but like, yeah, that's what's been up. That's what's been going on. I've been playing a lot of games, and watching a lot of Highlander. I'm actually excited to watch more of the Highlander TV show. I think that's going to be really fun. We didn't have this one scheduled, and I know that this is normally where we would end an episode, because it is getting to that point. But I do want to talk about one other thing real quick.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I was
actually going to interrupt the ending to bring up my own topic.
Yeah, what's up? What do you want to talk about?
I wanted to talk about Overlord so bad.
Oh shit! We haven't talked about it.
The last time we had a Mitch's Minute, we weren't watching it. So good.
No. Okay, so why don't let's talk. I hate to do this, to be like, oh, my topic's more important, but I think me and you will be talking that while I go get the Overlord stuff. So sorry, guys, this is going to be a little bit longer of an episode. Sorry.
Fucking Amanda has an obsession, and she cannot help but gush about fucking. I want to instinctually call it Overwatch. You and I both have the issue where we're just like, it's not called Overlord. It's called Overwatch.
We've been watching this one, so why don't let's talk about Overlord, because that's an anime that came out from 2015, and we only now just got into it.
Sadly enough, it's one of the most modern anime that we are watching.
True. Super true. We are Overlord is so it's an isekai series.
It's so good.
Overlord is an isekai series in which the main character is a big avid fan of an MMO called Yggdrasil, and he's been playing it for about 10 years, and 10 years for most MMOs is pretty much like that's the end of it. And so wanting to kind of ride out the last moments of a big part of his life, you know, he logs into an empty guild hall where all his old friends used to be, and he kind of just, you know, waits for the time, the last moments of Yggdrasil to end, and when he closes his eyes and the timer goes to 0, it doesn't end. And in fact, he has been teleported, as all isekai series, he's been teleported into a new magical world that is completely separate from Yggdrasil. But it seems that his avatar character and the people and his like little servant friends that his other guildmates had written all have now come to life, and he is a super powerful, ridiculous mage in this new magic world.
Oh yeah, because he was like max level for the MMO at the time.
Oh yeah.
It's so good. Fucking Overwatch. Oh, God damn it. No! I did it! I did. Overlord.
Overlord.
Oh, God. Overlord is honestly so good because fucking not only is it like not your stereotypic fucking isekai series where it's just like, oh fuck, now I'm a handsome anime dude and I'm just gonna go through life fucking kicking butt. No. He's a fucking lich. He's a literal fucking skeleton. And on top of that, he's actually really fucking smart. He's so smart.
He's also for the not only is he really smart, but he is a very socially awkward person who is having to pretend and role play his character, which I think is the most interesting aspect of it. And I'm sorry, continue. I just realized I interrupted.
No. You're totally fine. You can go on.
Well, I was just okay. So the thing that I think is really interesting about him is Momonga, which is the name he goes by originally when the series starts. That's his username. Momonga is very awkward. He is, you know, you can even see it when he interacts with that one guy who logs in, and how he talks with them and how he regrets not saying anything else, and he's very awkward, and he's very like, he's a little weird, but like, you know, that's kind of fun. It's kind of the funny part about him. So when he has to talk to everyone else around him, he has to act a certain way. He has to, you know, pretend to be this lord. He has to pretend to be this magnificently powerful evil being, who is intelligent and demanding and powerful. And meanwhile, he's just a big shit tier nerd. And it's really fun. It's really fun to watch him go between, you know, cringing at his own creations and you know, having to pretend to be this tremendously omnipotent person.
Oh yeah, and there's like certain points in time in which I really love when he sat there like, I wonder how I can get back to my world, and he pauses and he's like, do I want to go back? He's like, I was a fucking office worker who hated my job, had no like IRL friends. I only had like online friends, and even then they all left. Fucking, and I had no family. I don't want to go back. Fuck that place. That place sucked. I'm happy here. And I like that. I know it's really like morbid and pretty dark, but like I prefer it way better than I just want to go home, and they fucking just sob about it for the rest of the fucking series, and you're like, shut the fuck up.
Well,
Who
and
cares?
his
Enjoy the
big
fucking place you're at.
his big journey is also trying to the thing that I think is the most interesting part is that, okay, well, if he doesn't want to go home, what does he want? And he is convinced that there are other players from Yggdrasil somewhere out there. And so he changes his name very early on in the series and addresses himself not as his username Momonga, but rather as the guild's name that he built, Ainz Algon. And so for the rest of the series, he's called Ainz. And at first I was like, oh, that's gonna be a little tricky, but you actually just get used to it pretty quick. With his name change, because everyone in the show is calling him Ainz, you know, it's pretty easy. I will say this too: we watched this dubbed, great dub, wonderful dub. There are some comedic moments that I feel we had this conversation on our own.
God damn it! I think I know the exact fucking moment you're talking.
There are moments in which sometimes humor gets a little lost, and especially dubs from about 10 years ago. There were moments in comedy that become lost because, you know, comedy has different pacing in Japanese animation than it does in, like, you know, let's say like an English or an American kind of piece of media. So sometimes humor would get lost, and but they did such a great job. Why don't you go ahead and tell the audience what exactly it is you were referring to?
That I am referring to? I think it's the exact same fucking thing you're referring to.
Yes, it is.
The fucking... So... Oh my god, I literally... Oh, okay, no, it's Albedo. Albedo is deeply in love with Ainz, and fucking, like, to the point of being scarily possessive. And Ainz is rewarding one of the other NPCs and gives them a ring so that they have, you know, a bit more power around the castle and they can do more. And it's a reward for not only coming up with a good plan, but executing the plan well. And she sees it. And it's so fast that they, like, halfway cut off the scream. Because she looks over and she just goes, and fucking it just gets cut off. Out of nowhere, and it's the funniest fucking shit because she just screams really fast and then stops and she's instantly calm again, like, yeah, that's great. I love it. The entire time. And it's the funniest fucking shit. I don't even know why, but we both fucking died at it, probably because right beforehand we were talking shit about how much we hate when people go all the fucking time.
Oh yeah.
And then immediately she does it, and it's just so well done. Just cutting off that scream halfway is just fucking excellent. But there's like points in time in the anime, and this is getting away from the dub subject, but you and I both had moments of watching it and going, now why is he doing that? That doesn't make any sense. And then he explains it, and you're like, oh, I didn't even think about that. Like, you brought up the fact that he changed his name to Ainz. But the reason he calls himself Ainz is so that he can spread the name of his guild. So if anybody from his guild is actually in that world with him, they can go find him because they'll know what the fucking guild name is. And I didn't think of that. And it's such a good fucking idea to just be like, no, they'll know what this means. They'll know what this means entirely. And if they come up to me and call me by that name, I'll know it's them. Like, I'll know if they refer to me as Momonga instead of, like, fucking Ainz. Exactly. I'll understand.
Exactly.
So he can't be tricked that way. And I love that, because why would his friends call him Ainz? it's such a fucking smart idea, and he keeps fucking doing that shit where you're like, that's so good. That's a good idea. Fuck. That's a good idea. The entire time.
Oh yeah. The anime is just really well done. If you want to watch Overlord right now, it is available on Hulu and also on Funimation where we watched it.
We like binged watched it in one day.
Oh yeah. This show's real good. There's actually been watching 3 other anime, and as much as I would love to talk about those anime, I think I'm going to hold that off until another Mitch has been on a later date. Only because we are pretty early in on those anime. That being said, there is one extra subject I did want to talk about today, because we did mention it at the very beginning, and I want to kind of follow up on the thoughts about it.
Yeah. Because
me and you looked into this, and that is the scalping of the PS5. So I have been into this story a little bit here and there. So as we kind of mentioned at the very beginning of the episode, we were looking to get a PS5 for ourselves for the show. And one, there's been a lot of problems with just how the pre-orders went, with how, with just how stores were getting so little of them. But 2, we need to talk about, I think, probably the most important aspect of this, which is the scalpers and how absolutely gross and disgusting these people have been.
It's been so bad. It's been so bad. You told me about something. I think it was like either Thanksgiving or the day after. And you fucking told me about what one of those scalpers did. The way they worded their fucking thing on eBay was so fucking awful. Because they put up a listing, a bidding listing for a PS5, and at the very end of the description was box. It was the box for the PS5.
And on mobile, you couldn't see that. Yeah. I checked on that.
It was the box for the PS5, and the bidding started at $200, and when you had checked on it, it was at $800. That is disgusting.
The thing that bothers me to absolutely no end about the scalping is this. Apparently, and I thank, by the way, thank you, Nintendo Life and all these other websites that I've been going to lately for all my news resources. And obviously this is just something I'm hearing secondhand from other sources. But apparently what happened was this. There is a Discord where you can pay to get in to either get a PlayStation 5 from someone else, which you'd have to buy from them, by the way. You have to pay to get into the server, and then you have to pay someone else to, get one. Or you can be part of their group in which they are trying to gather as many PS5s as they can. And this group alone was able to get 3,500 PlayStation 5s. Where their goal and plan was to make $350,000 in profits. But they hit a little snag. See, it turns out that during this horrible crisis that we've all been going through, people are not making nearly as much money as everyone thinks they are, right? Even people like me and you who have been working this entire time have been hit financially with everything that's been going on. These people want to sell the PlayStation 5 on eBay, as I'm on the site right now, for $1,400 or best offer. $1,200, $930 and counting, plus $54.25 for shipping. This is absolutely ridiculous. This is absolutely appalling. And earlier in the day, I think it was probably stated best that the thing that bothers, I think, people like me and probably people like you, Amanda, about this is the fact that what happened is this wasn't like, you know, these people waited in line and grabbed the and were trying to scalp them like they usually do every year. But these were digital reserves, and people who went and, you know, who were able to use algorithms and scripts and shit to get all their stuff. 3,500. You're telling me you were able to get 3,500 fucking, you know, PS5s? Yeah. Fuck. But now the just desserts of karma are coming in because people can't afford to buy their horribly scalped ones, and Sony is already trying to work on getting a more out before Christmas comes. So they will just be sitting on 3,500 PS4s that they were or PS5s that they were hoping to sell for $1,000 a pop, and they will be lucky if people hold out, which I cannot emphasize enough. If people hold out, these people will get their just desserts.
Yeah, fuck them. Fuck these guys. They're fucking. I hate it. I really do fucking. Because there's nothing you can do other than make that. When they do this, they make that gambit that they're going to lose money, right? If they don't do it fast enough, then they'll lose money. So honestly, the only way to deal with these fuckers is to just wait.
I think the thing that the thing that bothers me the most is like reading the reviews on the site for eBay. One of the ones that was written on November 19th says, "Stop hating, folks. First shipping was excellent. Shipped yesterday, playing today. People say scalping. Nah, it's opportunity. I missed my chance on launch. So pay to play doesn't make me say negative things on price. I had the option to wait as everyone else does. Thanks for the overnight ship and keep hustling." I mean, you paid like $1,200 for your console. I mean, I guess sure, but I think
if you want to pay,
I don't understand why the guy wouldn't be upset by that. Like you,
yeah, if you want to pay over,
he's like, nah, bro, nah, man, I missed my opportunity, man. These people with these fuck, you know, they did their magic, they did the magic hands. That's on me, bro. That's on me. It's man, fucking.
The other option is that like, maybe just like that because he has the money to spend and who gives a shit. So that's an option. Or it's another scalper. Right?
Yeah.
It's another scalper who's like, no, it makes sense. So why don't be mad?
That's right, because anyone can write a review.
Yeah, anyone can write a fucking review. Companies will write reviews on their own shitty, lame fucking products that don't fucking work to fucking trick people into thinking that these are fucking fine. That man, more than likely, if he actually fucking did that, he has the money to fucking spend to begin with. And if not, then more than likely, it was either the exact guy who put up the listing under a different account, or one of his friends in that group, because their goal, remember, is to make a lot of money.
That's right.
So how do you convince people that it's okay? You pretend to be a customer that paid for it.
There is just so many problems with everything that's going, and I know that, like, I feel like it's interesting because I do meet people who are like, well, Scott, I mean, if you sat there and you bought it and you're looking to get, you know, a couple extra bucks because you were there first, then shouldn't that be a thing? And I'm like, well, yes, but not at this volume. Not at the point where, like, we watched a video just yesterday of a GameStop being broken into.
And people being tased.
And because the demand is so fucking high. Like, I mean, for fuck's sake, I mean, over Black Friday, from my understanding, I mean, it was only like 2 PS5s at that per GameStop. Meanwhile, you had 15 people waiting in line for it. look, I understand that, like, maybe on a piece of paper that would be like, that's how the market works or whatever, but I don't think that's fair. That's not fair
The
to
people
everyone
online
else.
were
That's not
talking
fair.
about, like, people online were just talking about how it's easier to fucking wait for the guy who fucking comes out of the GameStop with it first, and then just jump him. Just beat his ass. It's easier than waiting in line.
Jesus Christ. Look, I'll say this, right? Because I think the tragedy of the situation just boils down to the fact that I think the tragedy of all of this is just, I just wish that people would any other time, in my mind's eye, I just feel like any other time, sure, people don't have the money. I mean, they're already hurting. You know, it feels like a weird, shitty blow. And they're scream opportunists. I say that you're a fucking dick, you know? That's the truth of the fucking matter. These people are just fucking dicks. Like, opportunists, sure. Make your money. Do what you want. Do you take the money from the desperate parents? From the people who, you know, have been working all this time, wanting to get something to kind of ease out the fucking stresses of the horrid world we're in right now. Fuck you. You know, it's just, and maybe I'm being a bit, you know, a bit much with it, but I just,
it sucks. It does suck because there's no fucking point. There's no fucking reason. And
I got there
unfortunately,
first is the reason. I got there first.
I know, but it fucking sucks. It really does fucking suck because some people are just like, oh no, I just want this to give to my brother. I want this to give to my kid, my fucking whatever, right? My friend. It doesn't matter. And unfortunately, they're like, I want to give them a nice thing that I know they'll enjoy for the holidays. And that's what they're taking advantage of, is the desperateness of not being able to see family members and friends. And so their main point of connection becomes games, becomes online. That's where we're at. And so they're just like, oh, well, take advantage of them being sad, and it's shit. It's really shit. And unfortunately, the worst answer I can give you is just wait. It sucks and it's shitty, but there's nothing you can do other than wait. You can't fucking, they're not gonna get arrested for selling their fucking garbage at fucking twice the amount. If they bought it and they paid for it, they can't get in trouble for selling it at that price, and they know that. So the only thing I can honestly say to deal with these people is just don't buy it. Just wait. And if somebody's thinking about buying it from a scalper, just tell them to hold on. Fucking don't bother. Literally, Sony's making more right now. Sony wants to put out more. They're going to be putting out more. So just wait. Buy it then. Buy it fucking from the actual person for half the fucking price. And buy it from fucking, maybe not this next one. Maybe you can't get this next one. Fuck it. It's a late Christmas present. Maybe it's not even a Christmas present. But get it for next year. There's gonna be more releases.
Yeah, guys, Final Fantasy 16 hasn't even popped yet.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking, and let's be honest, the first generation of fucking those consoles are usually a little buggy. Anyway, like, just hold off. Don't buy it right now. You can buy it later. You're fucking, and if somebody's trying to fucking thinking of buying one from a scalper, just tell them to hold off. Just tell them to wait. The kids will be sad for Christmas, and there's nothing you can do about that. But, like, honestly, just get them something else with that $1,000 that you were going to spend on one thing.
You
Because that
know,
$1,000 is just for the console.
you
It's not
know,
even for.
I hate saying like this, but the Nintendo Switch is is out.
Well, the Nintendo Switch is there, and then a bunch of nice games. Just
I think the thing that
it's so cheap, guys.
well, the thing that I think is the most interesting part is a lot of the games that came out on the 5's release are available on the 4. I found out today that like if you own a copy of I feel so stupid. If you own a copy of Miles Morales or Assassin's Creed Valhalla, that just because 99% of the library for the PS4 is backwards compatible for the 5, it's just like owning a copy. The only difference is I think like just a slight graphical thing, but beyond that, I mean, I don't know. I mean, and I hate saying like this, but if you're really looking to give your kids something like really fun, I got an Oculus Quest 2. It's really good. It's really fun. Really great.
Was it over $1,000?
No, it was actually like 2, 3, something like that. It was
exactly.
So
exactly.
I think that like Bronson's absolutely right. No system is worth rent money. I feel that the minute that a console becomes more than I have to pay in rent, that's the moment.
At that moment, it's not worth it.
Yeah, it's a very good point.
If I can look at my car loan, if I can look at rent and be like, that's the price of a fucking console, I'm not gonna fucking buy that shit.
You know what I have decided though, when I will eventually purchase the PlayStation 5?
What?
I've decided that I'm probably just gonna get a digital one. Like there's the one with the disc and there's the pure digital one. I'm just gonna get it. I don't it's a habit I formed from the Switch. I'd rather just have digital copies. I'm not gonna lie. I'd rather just have digital copies, especially because games like Hades, Star Renegades don't have those like those like little like case ones, or like the game case ones. They don't have not discs but the chips. So yeah. Anyways, guys,
just one more quick thing.
Yeah.
Just very quick. If games become $70 fucking dollars, then they better be worth $70 fucking dollars.
God, isn't that
every
fucking true?
Game that I'm even slightly disappointed in at this point, if you weren't worth $70 fucking dollars, I'm gonna be fucking pissed, because fuck you. How dare you raise the fucking price? And it's fucking bullshit that you expect to fucking serve low quality bullshit with a $70 price tag.
For those that do not know what Amanda is talking about, a lot of games currently going in the next generation have already been talked about. Jim from Jimquisition has talked about this before on the show, that a lot of games are going to start being charged for $70 instead of $60. The reasoning behind their decision was based on the idea that, well, since games are going to be graphically better, and because they're going to be, on a completely new system that runs better, it's going to take a lot more work to make. Ergo, they should be worth $10 more a piece. The problem that they don't include in that statement is the fact that the $10 extra do not go to the developers or the people who actually make the games. They go to CEOs, like the CEO of Activision, who is a giant piece of shit. God, this is like it went from like talking like really happy about Highlander.
Yeah, but there's some bullshit going on.
There is,
now, and I had to vent.
No, I super get it. You know what? Why don't we go take a look right now? Spider-Man Miles Morales for the PS5. I probably should have typed PS5.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna. There we go. All right.
Yeah. $70 for a fucking game. You me.
Well, maybe Miles Morales was not a good one to pick, because Miles Morales is actually $50. Because it is but Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War is $70.
$70. And I know somebody. And they said it was shit. They're saying it's shit and they love Call of Duty. Are you fucking with me?
No, see, they need to make it. They need to make it so that fuck. It is a very interesting time, but I remember for the longest time, ever since at least for as long as I personally have been buying video games for myself, games have been $60. And I think that happened around the time of like the PS3, I think. It is a interesting time to be around gaming right now. We're gonna be completely honest. But yeah, I know it sounds like I'm shilling for Nintendo, even though, God, that is, I don't want to talk about that one, but that is something that I think is very interesting. If you guys have not checked out what is going on with the Smash Brothers community right now and hashtag Save Smash, go check that out. That's pretty interesting. I don't know enough information about it to talk about it right now, but definitely check that out. It's very interesting. Anywho, that being said, let's try to end this on a more positive note.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've done a Mitch's Minute in a while, and I kind of just wanted to tell you guys, as I do every now and then, that I really, truly do appreciate my audience. I know that we're not like the greatest YouTubers ever, or not even the greatest Twitch streamers ever. I know that we always tend to be a little bit behind the times on like trends like the VTuber thing right now. Really anything.
Oh, God, I'm so into VTubers right now. It's funny.
What about, I gotta ask, like, what about it are you fascinated by the VTubers themselves, or are you fascinated by the process?
I'm fascinated a little bit with both. Not every VTuber I'm super into, but the mechanics of it I'm super, super into. And there's like a handful of VTubers that I'm just like, oh no. Oh no, they're so cute. Oh no. Like there's one. Her name is Gouda, and she's like a little shark. She's like a personified little shark baby, and she's very cute and very sweet. And she's just nice. She's wholesome. And fucking she debuted like a month ago. And she's great. Most of them, I'm not into them at all. They're really loud, really annoying sometimes. If they're cute and wholesome and they can make me laugh, all right, I'm here for it. I'm good. But overall, the main thing I'm so interested in is the mechanics of it, right? Because it's a mix of 2D, 3D, and then finally motion capture. Like live motion capture. And it's fascinating because at one point during one of the streams I had seen, one of the girls lifts up her hand, and usually she can like bring up her hands and like hold them in poses and stuff and like kind of move them. She brought up her hand, but the way it happened, it swung backwards and was backwards. And she made a joke about it being broken. And yeah, it's funny, but also, how does that happen? It has to be something with the rigging, right? And so I'm fascinated by not only how detailed some of the rigs and how beautiful some of them are, just the range of motion and what they can do. I'm very fascinated by all of that. I'm also fascinated, maybe morbidly, with how they break.
Huh.
You know?
I can see that, yeah. I feel like this is one of those things where you're gonna have to talk to me a little bit after the stream about it, because I once again, I don't know that much about it, but I get my own, like, I'm totally uncultured on this sort of thing, because I think my one insight was like, man, if you could just be anything you wanted as a VTuber, why wouldn't you be like a cool Monster Mash? Like, why wouldn't you do that?
Oh my god, there is one that I think might catch your attention. She's a lich.
Really?
Yeah. Her whole thing is being a lich.
Oh, that's
Obviously,
cool.
she's still beautiful.
Oh,
But
man, I would want to be a monster. Like, that would be
I
cool.
know, I know. And I have seen another one who is a monster and has animations for, like, her jaw tearing off and, like, her eyes going fucking white and just screaming, and it's super cool. They're super great. The reason that most of them don't do that, they're so detailed and expensive.
That's fair.
It's fair. When a basic rig is, like, over $1,000, I get it. But there is one. Her name is Apricot, and she is the lich. Her nickname is Fruit. But a cool thing that she has on top of being a lich is her malefactum. Her malefactum is for general liches is the thing that they use to bind souls and keep them like eternally alive. And she has one. I think it's named like Phil, but it's a gem with an eye in it, and it sits obviously right on her chest. But if you look at it, the eye moves and it moves back and forth. And she explained it and she's like, "Oh, it's reading the chat. That's why it moves like that." So he's always moving, always reading what's going on in chat. And I think that's the coolest fucking shit ever.
That does sound pretty cool.
It's so cool. And she has like interesting emotes that obviously she had to request because she has emotes that are typically out of the range for those that I've seen that come with them. Because usually you get like a little smiley one, a blushy, winky one. She has nervous and disgusted faces. Which are, she had to have requested those. They don't come like with the set. I've done so much research. They don't come with the set.
Clearly.
So she's had to request these personally to have her character look disgusted with you. And it's so good. Oh my god. It's so good. Anyway, I won't go on that tangent for I could be here for another hour.
Fair, man, fair. So that being said, guys, I did want to say real quick that like I really do appreciate every episode that you guys come to. I'm really happy with just how Save Point was a gamble, and I really do appreciate you guys like continuing with us after everything that's happened. And I don't know what's gonna happen in the future. There's talks about that we're trying to figure out what we want to do next. I know it's kind of weird to tag this on at the end of an episode, but I did just want to let you guys know where my personal mindset is when it comes to this kind of stuff. I always want to be honest with you and to talk to you guys and let you guys know what's up. It's this year's been pretty weird. It's been really messed up. Two of my relatives got the virus and shit, and it's they're okay. Don't worry about that kind of stuff. It's a fact. It's affected my life, and it's affected the lives of people I love, that I care about. And I guess I hope that we're still making the content that that's always been at the heart of all of this. Something that helps you guys get through your day. Helps you ease out a bit. That's always the goal. Even when I was even when I did like eighth stuff. You want to make those shit to your videos. I hope that that's the case, and I have a lot of ideas and stuff that I want to start working on and start work. Like we want to do a channel devoted to like highlights and clips and stuff like that, because you guys really love that stuff. But sometimes we don't feel like a 2-minute or even like a 1-minute video is worth it on the YouTube. So we're thinking about doing that, and that's something I've been wanting to do for a very long time. But sometimes it's kind of hard to find the courage and then the means to do that. you know, with everything going on. So I just wanted to say, you know, that I know it's always weird with us, and I know it's always kind of like, you know, rough sometimes. Sometimes shows don't necessarily have endings or anything like that, but I do hope that you guys are taking it easy, and I hope you guys stick with us as we continue our adventure. You know, one of the things that I think is really unenviable on our end is, even before all of this, we were a YouTube show that we have everyone everywhere, you know. Amanda, you're out to the West Coast. I'm on the East Coast. Nate's in Australia. You know.
Yeah.
We all have always been separate. So in my mind, the show hasn't even started yet. It's the day when all three of us can sit in the same room and riff and, you know, have that experience. That's when it starts for me.
Oh yeah.
And I hope that you guys will be there when the show finally starts. This is all like preamble, like prelude to the fucking rock star shit that we're gonna be up to when we're all finally in the same room.
When Nate finally comes to the state for his first visit, we have to sit down and do one thing at the very least.
Yes, I know that he's gonna want to do like everything, but we got to record like one show, and you guys will see. You guys will see like the quality just skyrocket. It is, as a guy who has done both the in-person recordings and the online recordings, I clearly have a preference. I love working off people in the same room, having that natural energy, stuff like that. So thank you all so much for being part of this, and for just everything, you know. Doing the show gives me like a real sense of purpose sometimes, you know. So anyways, enough of that mushy shit. Thank you all so much for watching another episode of Mitch's Minute. We will be back hopefully either next week or the week after for another episode, because I do want to talk about some of the other anime that we have been checking out, as well as some other really, really cool shit. I recently got into the Pokemon TCG. I want to talk a little bit about that, about the Pokemon TCG. There's also tons of films that we've been watching on the side, including the disappointment that was Jimmy Neutron.
Oh my god.
That movie was an hour and it felt like 6. So anyway.
Oh, yeah. Also, if you're in the Discord and you want to watch movies with us, we have the movie server.
That's true. We do. We have the movie server.
So if you ever just want to sit down and watch us fucking riff on fucking movies. Just
God.
Just lose our mind at fucking movies.
Also,
there's always that.
Also, I've been playing I did play the fuck out of Tokyo Mirage Sessions. We watched tons of movies. We've been doing so much that we haven't been telling you guys. It feels weird. We normally let you guys know exactly what we watched. The movie Fright Night. The other night we watched Silent Hill.
So fucking good.
Oh, dude. Fucking, you know,
so fucking good.
I've been playing some new games on the Oculus Quest. There is so much that we have yet to talk about. This is like the first episode back, and I would love to just tell you guys what's up.
But we've already spent like 2 hours
exactly
talking our ears off.
Exactly. So thank you so much for watching a whole new episode of Mitch's Minute. This episode will be up tomorrow on the YouTube. So I guess today if you're watching it on YouTube. But anyways, we will catch you all next time.
Catch you next time.